Breakfast is often called the most important meal of the day. For many seniors, it's more than just food, it's a comforting ritual. It might be the smell of coffee brewing, the warmth of toast fresh from the toaster, or the sweet taste of a pastry paired with a newspaper. These routines feel familiar and satisfying, and because they've been practiced for years, they don't raise much concern. Yet hidden beneath that comfort is a surprising truth. Some of the most common breakfast choices may actually be working against your health, especially when it comes to your bones. This matters more than most people realize. Bones are the silent foundation of independence. They're what allow you to stand tall, carry groceries, climb stairs, and hug your grandchildren. Strong bones aren't just about avoiding fractures. They're about maintaining freedom, dignity, and the ability to live life on your own terms. But as we age, bone density naturally declines. Calcium absorption slows down, hormone changes accelerate bone loss, and small accidents suddenly carry much higher risks. A trip, a slip, or even a hard cough can lead to fractures that take months to heal. That's why osteoporosis and bone-related injuries are among the greatest threats to senior independence. Protecting bone strength is about protecting your future. So how does breakfast play into this picture? Surprisingly, the foods we often eat first thing in the morning can either support or sabotage bone health. Let's look at some of the hidden culprits. Take sugary cereals. They may seem innocent, colorful boxers promising vitamins, minerals, and fun mascots. But most are filled with refined grains and added sugar. They deliver a quick burst of energy but leave you drained soon after. And more importantly, they can contribute to calcium loss. Diets high in sugar increase the amount of calcium excreted in urine. In other words, instead of calcium being absorbed and stored in your bones, it's literally being flushed out. Over years, that slow leak weakens the very structure you rely on for balance and strength. Then there's coffee. A cup or two in the morning is fine, but many people rely on 3 or more cups just to get going. Excess caffeine interferes with calcium absorption in the gut. Imagine carefully placing bricks to build a wall, but having half of them crumble before they ever get into place. That's what happens when calcium-rich foods are paired with too much caffeine. The body never gets the full benefit. Add to that a couple of slices of white bread toast, which is stripped of the fiber and minerals found in whole grains, and you're left with a breakfast that fills the belly, but leaves bones undernourished. Processed breakfast meats are another issue. Sausages, bacon, and ham may be tasty, but they come with high sodium content. Too much salt forces the body to release calcium through urine, further depleting bone reserves. It's like draining a bank account that you need to keep growing. And pastries, whether donuts, muffins, or pancakes, smothered in syrup add insult to injury. They're high in sugar, low in nutrients, and they contribute to inflammation that wears down bone tissue over time. Picture this in a real-life scenario. A senior named Margaret starts her mornings with 2 cups of coffee, buttered white toast, and a small Danish pastry. It's been her routine for decades. She doesn't feel unwell, so she assumes it's fine. But years of this pattern mean her bones aren't getting enough calcium, protein, or vitamin D to stay strong. One day, she slips while watering her garden and fractures her hip. The doctor explains that her bone density is low and that her diet, especially her breakfast, played a role in weakening her foundation. For Margaret, what once felt like a harmless comfort became a hidden risk. This isn't about guilt or blame, it's about awareness. Most seniors simply don't realize how much their daily breakfast choices affect their bones. The encouraging truth is that bones are living tissue. They respond to care. Just as poor nutrition can weaken them, better nutrition can strengthen them even later in life. Shifting your breakfast from bone-draining foods to bone-supporting ones can make a measurable difference in your strength, balance, and long-term independence. So here's the warning. Don't assume your usual breakfast is harmless. If it's filled with refined carbs, sugar, excess caffeine, or salty meats, it could be quietly chipping away at your bones day after day. But the hopeful message is this change is possible. With small, steady adjustments, you can turn breakfast into a powerful tool for protecting your bones and securing your independence. In the next part, we'll look at the first key move you can take, how to swap out bone-weakening foods for bone-strengthening ones without giving up flavor, convenience, or joy. Now that we've uncovered the hidden dangers in many common breakfast foods, the first key move is simple but powerful. Swap bone-weakening choices for bone-strengthening ones. This doesn't mean giving up breakfast or forcing yourself to eat foods you dislike. It means making small, thoughtful adjustments that transform your morning meal from something that quietly harms your bones into something that actively builds them. The foundation of bone health begins with calcium. Seniors often fall short of this mineral because aging bodies absorb less of it, even when diets include calcium-rich foods. That's why breakfast is the perfect opportunity to start the day strong. Instead of a sugary pastry, imagine a bowl of plain Greek yogurt topped with fresh berries and a sprinkle of chia seeds. Greek yogurt is loaded with calcium and protein. The berries provide antioxidants, and chia seeds add omega-3 south that fight inflammation. Together, that bowl becomes a bone-strengthening powerhouse. Next, let's talk about protein. Many people think bones are made only of minerals, but in reality, nearly half of bone mass is protein, particularly collagen. Without enough protein, bones become brittle, unable to handle even minor stress. This is why a breakfast centered on protein can be life-changing. For example, instead of white toast, try a spinach hand cheese omelet. The eggs provide protein and vitamin D, while the spinach adds calcium, magnesium, and vitamin K nutrients that all play roles in bone health. One small swap and suddenly breakfast is working for your body instead of against it. Another nutrient that deserves attention is vitamin D. It's essential because it helps the body absorb calcium effectively. Without it, calcium-rich foods don't deliver their full benefit. While sunlight is the best natural source, many seniors spend less time outdoors, especially in colder seasons. That's why including vitamin D in breakfast can be so valuable. Foods like fortified milk, fortified oatmeal, or mushrooms exposed to sunlight provide this crucial nutrient. Imagine a warm bowl of oatmeal made with fortified milk, topped with walnuts and sliced bananas. It's simple, satisfying, and it nourishes your bones. Here's a real-life story to illustrate the impact of breakfast changes. A 70-year-old man named Robert had always started his mornings with coffee and a donut. It gave him a sugar rush, but he often felt tired and hungry again within an hour. After a minor fall led to a wrist fracture, his doctor encouraged him to rethink breakfast. Robert began making smoothies with Greek yogurt, spinach, banana, and almond butter. At first, it felt like a big change, but within weeks, he noticed more steady energy, less mid-morning hunger, and the reassurance that his meals were protecting rather than harming his bones. The change wasn't just physical, it was emotional. He felt proud of taking charge of his health. Another important swap is to limit excess salt and sugar. Breakfast meats like bacon and sausage may taste good, but their high sodium content accelerates calcium loss through urine. Instead, seniors can enjoy smoked salmon on whole grain toast, paired with avocado slices. This swap cuts sodium dramatically while adding omega-3 south and potassium to nutrients that support heart and bone health together. As for sugar, cutting back on sweetened cereals or pastries doesn't mean losing flavor. Whole fruits like berries, apples, or peaches satisfy the craving for sweetness while delivering fiber, vitamins, and natural antioxidants. Don't underestimate the role of drinks. Many seniors rely on coffee to start the day, but too much caffeine reduces calcium absorption. Limiting coffee to 1 or 2 cups and pairing it with calcium-rich food can balance things out. Better yet, swap 1 cup for herbal tea or a calcium-fortified orange juice. Even this small step makes a difference over time. Consistency is the secret ingredient here. A single yogurt or omelet won't rebuild bones overnight. But when these swaps become part of your daily rhythm, they steadily nourish your skeleton day after day. Think of it like watering a plant. Each morning you're adding a little strength, a little resilience for your independence. Over months and years, those small efforts add up to major protection. Most importantly, these swaps don't need to feel like sacrifices. A fluffy vegetable omelet, a colorful fruit and yogurt parfait, or avocado toast on whole grain bread are all delicious options. By discovering meals you enjoy, breakfast becomes something to look forward to, not something to dread. When you love what you're eating, sticking with the routine becomes effortless. So the first key move is clear. Start your day with foods that build, not break, your bones. Swap sugary, salty, and empty-calorie choices for meals, rich in calcium, protein, vitamin D, and whole nutrients. Every bite you take in the morning can either weaken your foundation or strengthen it. By choosing wisely, you're not just protecting your bones, you're investing in energy, confidence, and independence for the years ahead. In the next part, we'll explore the second key move, how to pair these bone-strengthening breakfasts with lifestyle habits like exercise and sunlight exposure, creating a daily routine that multiplies the benefits for your bones. Eating a bone-supporting breakfast is a strong first step, but food alone can't do all the work. Bones, like muscles, respond best when nutrition is combined with the right lifestyle habits. This is the second key move. Pair your bone-healthy breakfast with daily routines that multiply its benefits. Just as a car needs both good fuel and regular maintenance, your skeleton needs both nourishing foods and the activities that keep it strong. One of the most powerful partners to breakfast is weight-bearing exercise. After enjoying a calcium and protein-rich meal, Simple movements like walking, climbing stairs, or light strength training encourage your bones to absorb and use those nutrients. Exercise creates tiny stresses on bones, which stimulate the body to build them stronger, much like lifting weights builds muscle. For example, a senior who begins the day with Greek yogurt and fruit, then takes a 20-minute morning walk, is giving their bones both the fuel and the signal to grow resilient. The food provides the building blocks, and the exercise tells the body to put them to work. Another key partner is sunlight. Vitamin D is essential for calcium absorption, and while food can supply some, the sun remains the best natural source. Pairing a bone-strengthening breakfast with a few minutes outdoors multiplies its impact. Imagine eating an omelet with spinach and cheese, then stepping outside for a gentle walk or even sitting on the porch with your morning tea. That simple routine combines calcium, protein, and natural vitamin diet trio that keeps bones nourished. For seniors who have limited mobility, even sitting by a sunny window can provide benefits. Hydration is another often overlooked habit. Water helps transport nutrients throughout the body, including to bones. Many seniors drink coffee with breakfast, but forget plain water. Starting the day with a glass of water alongside your meal supports calcium circulation and keeps joints lubricated. Adding a squeeze of lemon or infusing water with fruit makes it more enjoyable and ensures it becomes a daily habit. Stress management also plays a surprising role. Chronic stress releases hormones like cortisol that weaken bones over time. Pairing your bone-strengthening breakfast with a calm, mindful morning routine can protect against this silent damage. For example, after finishing a bowl of fortified oatmeal topped with almonds and berries, you could take 5 minutes to practice deep breathing, prayer, or gratitude journaling. That sense of calm lowers stress hormones, allowing your body to use its nutrients more effectively. Here's a real-life example. James, a 68-year-old retiree, used to rush through breakfast with coffee and toast before heading straight to his errands. His doctor warned him that his bone density was declining. Determined to make a change, James began eating yogurt with fruit for calcium and protein, then spent 10 minutes walking outside while listening to his favorite music. Within months, he noticed not only stronger energy but also better balance and mood. His breakfast and his habits worked together, making his efforts more effective than diet changes alone. Social connections can also strengthen the routine. Sharing a bone-healthy breakfast with a spouse, friend, or community group adds accountability and joy. Instead of eating a pastry alone, imagine sitting with a neighbor and enjoying whole-grain toast with avocado and eggs. The companionship boosts emotional well-being, which is closely tied to physical health. Research shows that seniors with strong social ties are more likely to stick with healthy routines, and that consistency pays off in stronger bones and fewer falls. Sleep plays a role too. Without quality rest, the body struggles to repair and rebuild tissue, including bone. By pairing a balanced breakfast with a good night's sleep, you create a cycle of nourishment and restoration. For instance, eating magnesium-rich foods like nuts or whole grains in the morning can support better sleep at night, and better sleep helps bones heal and strengthen. The beauty of these habits is that they don't require dramatic effort. A short walk, a glass of water, 10 minutes of sunshine, and a mindful pause can transform an ordinary breakfast into a complete bone health routine. It's about stacking small habits together so they reinforce each other. Over time, these daily pairings become second nature, giving you confidence that every morning is an investment in your independence. So the second key move is clear. Don't just eat a bone-healthy breakfast, combine it with habits that multiply its benefits. Exercise, sunlight, hydration, stress relief, social connection, and rest all act like teammates, working alongside your food to protect and strengthen your bones. The result is not just stronger bones, but also a stronger sense of energy, stability, and control over your health. In the final part, we'll look at the third key move, how to adopt a mindset of hope and resilience. So every choice you make at breakfast and beyond becomes part of a bigger story of strength, independence, and vitality. By now, it's clear that breakfast is not just a routine, it's an opportunity. The foods you choose in the morning can either drain the strength from your bones or reinforce them with the nutrients they need. We've uncovered the hidden dangers of sugary cereals, salty meats, refined breads, and too much caffeine. We've explored the first key move, swapping those bone-weakening foods for calcium and protein-rich alternatives like yogurt, eggs, spinach, and fortified grains. We've also seen the second key move, pairing those meals with habits like exercise, sunlight, hydration, and stress management to multiply the benefits. But the third and perhaps most powerful step is this, embracing a mindset of hope and resilience. Why is mindset so important? Because bones respond slowly. You won't feel them getting stronger after one omelet or one glass of fortified milk. Progress is gradual, and that can be frustrating. Many seniors get discouraged when they don't see quick results and assume it's too late to make a difference. But here's the truth. Bones are living tissue. They're constantly being broken down and rebuilt. Every smart choice you make, every yogurt parfait, every sunny walk, every mindful pause feeds into that rebuilding process. Over weeks and months, those choices add up. A hopeful mindset keeps you motivated long enough to see those results. Think of it this way. Your bones tell the story of your daily habits. They reflect not only what you've done in the past, but also what you're doing right now. You can't rewrite history, but you can shape the future. Even seniors diagnosed with osteoporosis can improve bone density with consistent care. That fact alone should inspire hope. You are not powerless. You have tools within your reach at your breakfast table and in your daily life that can change the trajectory of your health. Here's a story that brings this to life. Maria, age 72, used to feel defeated after being told she had osteoporosis. She thought, what's the point? My bones are already weak. But her granddaughter encouraged her to make small changes. Starting with breakfast, Maria swapped her morning pastry for a veggie omelet, added a short walk in the garden after eating, and practiced 5 minutes of deep breathing. At first, it felt like a chore, but soon it became her new normal. A year later, her doctor reported measurable improvement in her bone density. More importantly, Maria felt stronger, steadier, and more independent. Her mindset shifted from hopelessness to empowerment, and that made all the difference. Mindset also influences how we handle setbacks. Maybe you miss a few days of healthy breakfast choices, or maybe you fall back into old habits. That doesn't mean failure. With a hopeful outlook, you see it as a temporary slip, not the end of your efforts. You simply pick up where you left off, knowing that every positive step counts. Hope creates resilience, and resilience keeps you moving forward even when life feels difficult. Another benefit of hope is how it spreads to others. When seniors take control of their bone health, their families notice. Grandchildren see the example of strength and self-care. Friends at community centers hear the stories and feel encouraged to make changes themselves. In this way, your decision to protect your bones doesn't just help you, it inspires those around you. You become a role model for resilience, showing that age doesn't have to mean decline. And let's not forget independence. For many seniors, the greatest fear isn't wrinkles or gray hair, it's losing the ability to live freely. Strong bones mean fewer fractures, fewer hospital visits, and fewer limitations. Every breakfast that nourishes your skeleton is a step toward keeping your independence. That independence isn't just about health, it's about continuing to enjoy the life you love. It's about walking in the park, traveling with family, or simply bending down to pick up a child without fear. So the third key move is this. Adopt a mindset that every choice matters and that it's never too late to strengthen your bones. When you approach breakfast with hope, you're not just eating food, you're feeding your future. You're investing in resilience, independence, and joy. In the end, the warning remains clear. A careless breakfast can weaken your bones over time, but the promise is equally strong. A mindful, nourishing breakfast can protect them. With smart swaps, supportive habits, and a mindset of hope, you can turn your mornings into a powerful defense against fractures and frailty. So tomorrow morning, when you sit down at the table, take a moment to look at your plate. Ask yourself, is this meal weakening my bones or strengthening them? Then choose wisely. Choose foods that build habits that support and a mindset that empowers. Your bones and your future self will thank you.